on an all-new Dr. Phil.
You got a rage problem.
I was never this angry in my previous 3 marriages.
A husband with something to hide.
I asked you any secrets from her. You said no. You and I both know that's not true.
So what haven't you told me?
If you don't want to say it, then move on.
Nobody knows this. I'm not proud of it. Years ago, I was...
Dr. Phil, he's so sick. He's so sick.
Let's do it. Is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Chuck and Amanda have been married for 6 years. They have 2 sons, a 5-year-old and an 8-month-old. Now, Chuck and Amanda say their marriage can be described as anything but loving. They say it's loud, violent, and full of rage. Even her parents call their daughter a right fighter. And their son-in-law, Chuck, well, they say he's just explosive. Take a look.
Chuck.
Shut up, Amanda. I'm done with this conversation. Be quiet. I'm done listening to you. You don't have to be nice. You don't want to make an effort in that direction. You.
6 years of hell.
I'm this way because you're not nice to me.
Just like...
Around.
And then why am I your 4th wife? Everybody else was so mean and such a raving lunatic biatch.
Well, after a hostile fight like that one, their son-in-law, Chuck, says he storms out of the house and moves into his car for days just to get away from Amanda's nagging. Now, Amanda says every night she hears her little innocent 5-year-old praying, and I quote, "Please take away my evil daddy." Listen to this.
First day, Lord, I hope Mommy and Daddy stop fighting, and I hope Daddy's evil heart goes away, and I hope the Big Daddy come back.
Chuck says sometimes he thinks about divorce every hour of the day because Amanda pushes his buttons. But Amanda says Chuck is the one with the issues. Let's hear this.
My husband Chuck has a short fuse. He'll take the door and just slam over and over and over again.
When she won't stop the nagging, I feel like I'm backed in a corner and I explode.
He just got angry and took his fist and punched the fiberglass here as hard as he could.
I was never this angry in my previous 3 marriages.
Chuck is the common denominator. He's already failed 3 other times. Chuck, how many people have told you? Chuck says I rub his nose in his mistakes like a dog in their urine. You're begging me to be nice to you. Do you think you've been a good husband and a good father?
I have no problem with the tasks and chores that she asked me to do, but she's reminding me 15, 20 times, and then calling me every name in the book for not doing it. What kind of man are you? What kind of husband are you? And she does this in front of the kids.
And you don't even get up to see your son. And then he's crying and you don't ask how you can help.
I don't want to listen to Amanda emasculate me in front of the children anymore.
6 years of hell.
I'm this way because you're not nice to me.
This is wife number 4. I don't want it to be divorce number 4, but I don't know how to fix our relationship.
Okay, now, does this seem normal to you, what you're doing?
No, absolutely not. Unfortunately, it's become our norm.
And you have children in the home.
Correct.
You're doing this in front of them.
Yes, sir.
And you think she has OCD?
If not OCD, then obsessive compulsive tendencies for sure. She likes to face all the labels in the refrigerator the same direction. And at one point or two, I turned the label of a bottle of water around backwards, and I thought she was gonna have a stroke. You know, it's not
How'd the honeymoon go?
Terrible. Terrible.
Except for the first night. That's how we made our son.
What do you mean terrible?
But we kind of had a pact that if we moved forward in life and had children, he would quit smoking. So he decided to try to do so on our honeymoon. One point we got into it over dinner. He took the plate of food he was eating and shoved it at me and spilled the water and the food on me and got up and walked out.
If it weren't for the kids, we would have already split.
Right.
I mean, we're
so you're
trying
together for the children?
No, we want to get things better for the children.
Did you want to come here?
Initially, no. But now that I'm here.
What did you do last night?
I went out and had a few drinks.
Well, according to you, you stayed at the bar last night until closing. You met some people and went to their house, and then you walked 4.5 miles back to the hotel.
Went to an after-hours club close to their house, but yeah, same difference. We're splitting hairs at this point. Right.
What time did the bar close?
The after-hours went about 5
a.m.?
Yes, yes.
You got a rage problem, right?
I do.
I mean, you chase cars. You chased a car down on the road.
I have.
So you say we've tried everything, so this is the last ditch effort.
She says, you'll go to Dr. Phil, we're done. And this is it.
And so you decide to stay out till 5 a.m. the night before you come. Out drinking and at an after-hours club, stay out till 5 a.m. before you come here. That seems to me to be insincere.
It's irrational for sure.
Somehow that would be my fault because he asked me to meet him for dinner last night and I didn't respond because obviously I didn't think that was appropriate. And so somehow he would twist that it's all my fault that he stayed out all night.
You put words in my mouth now, just like always. I just want to.
Well, I like to listen to what people say and do in their natural environment. Here's some video of Amanda talking to Chuck about coming to the show.
Why are you not willing to talk to them? Are you going to cancel this whole thing and not even get on the flight? You don't want the help. You made it very obvious, which means you don't want me or your kids in your life.
Shut up, Amanda.
Because if you don't take this help, I will see to it that you don't have your kids in your life. I will see to it because you're not healthy enough.
Shut up, Amanda.
You're not healthy enough. If they call you, answer the phone, please. You agreed to do this. I have told them what my problems are. I have told them I'm a yeller. I told them I'm a name caller. I told them I've said some of the meanest things I've ever said to anybody to you.
You don't want to do anything about it.
Yes, I do. I'm flying out.
Stop yelling. Stop name calling. Stop being that person.
I don't want to do anything about it. I'm getting us help.
Stop yelling.
You don't think you have a problem, even though you sat here the other night and you texted me that you know you've created the person I am. You have helped create the person I am. You've brought out the absolute worst in me.
Stop talking. I'm sitting over here saying, shut up, Amanda.
Well, answer them. They've interviewed my mom, my dad.
Oh, Dad, Amanda, shut up.
That's pretty much a normal exchange.
Yeah, it's good problem solving.
I certainly don't handle things well, but I've stuck it out by his side for 6 years through a lot of crap that the others did not. Our marriage has lasted longer than the three of them combined.
Are you honest with him about everything?
Yes.
No secrets?
No secrets.
Are you honest with her about everything?
Yes.
No secrets?
No.
That is absolutely, that's a lie right there. He's deceitful about why he's lost jobs, about smoking, about money he's spending.
Come clean with you about everything.
No, sir. If he comes clean, it's only because he's been caught.
I'm married to my mother.
Then don't act like a child.
You were on me and on me and on me and on me. And if I'm going to be accused of something 1,000 times, I'm already doing the punishment for it. I may as well do the crime.
Yeah, for every rat you see, there's 50 you don't.
Exactly.
Coming up, Chuck says Amanda calls her parents at least 9 times a day. I wonder what she's telling them. We're going to find out after the break.
Chuck and Amanda have a very dysfunctional and destructive marriage. It involves Tammy and me, and it particularly seems to be harmful to the children.
Because of the fighting and arguing, we felt our daughter could do better. Chuck and Amanda's relationship is definitely destroying the children.
And later, I asked you if you had any secrets from her that she doesn't know about, and you said no. That's not true, is it?
Spill the beans. If you've got something to say, this is the time to say it.
That was honestly something I thought I was going to carry to my grave.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I am verbally abusive. I get a kick out of it.
You've got a guy telling you, I get a kick out of jacking with you.
She's left him 4 times.
You choose him over your children.
Yes.
But she always comes back.
Do you often think you're the smartest guy in the room?
Most attractive, not the smartest.
You didn't want to come here.
I have a very important job that I couldn't leave.
We had time to go on a 3-day bender, but you didn't have time to come here for a day.
That's tomorrow.
It seems as though the umbilical cord has never been severed. Every time Amanda and I have a problem, she's going to run and tell her mother about it.
I just don't want to give up on him like everybody else is.
Well, this is the last resort.
Amanda's mom and dad are so involved in our marriage.
He has to want it because you can't fix him and he can't fix you.
They called Dr. Phil to initiate this process. I understand fully that they have a God-given duty to protect the grandchildren, but I want them as grandparents and I want them as in-laws. I don't want them as marital counselors.
Well, Chuck and Amanda say their marriage has been a constant battle ever since the honeymoon. To make matters worse, Chuck says Amanda gets her parents, Tammy and Tom, too involved. Let's hear what they have to say.
Our daughter Amanda moved in with Chuck after only knowing him for 2 or 3 months. I don't think Amanda knew what she was getting into.
We felt our daughter could do better than marrying someone that's been married 3 times because those 3 marriages, Chuck is the common denominator.
And he has to acknowledge that he's part of the problem.
I know more about their marriage than I really care to know because Amanda turns to me with every issue, every problem.
It's just so irrational.
Well, you can't get rational behavior from an irrational person.
We've talked to the counselor about Chuck and Amanda because we got to the point where it was involving us so much that it was consuming us. And Chuck and Amanda have a very dysfunctional and destructive marriage. It involves Tammy and me, and it particularly seems to be harmful to the children. When Amanda's called on the phone, we've heard them yelling back and forth to each other. And we've heard my 5-year-old grandson in the background yelling, please stop, please stop.
We got into an argument a couple of weeks ago. He snapped and basically took the baby food container and slammed it down on the ground as hard as he could. Baby food went everywhere, all over the blinds, the couch, the floor, up on the ceiling here. And my 5-year-old son was trying to help me clean it up.
Because of the fighting and arguing our 5-year-old grandson is witnessing, he said, everybody in the world thinks I'm a Chuck and Amanda's relationship is definitely destroying the children.
Okay, Tammy and Tom are joining us. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being here. I'm not sure Chuck does. I think you think they're over-involved, right?
At times.
He's resentful because he does not have a mom, has no relationship with his mom, and he doesn't have a living father. I mean, but I can't help that I do and that they are supportive, and they have had to step up and take on his responsibilities when he decides to run.
Well, what's y'all's view here?
We're tired of the roller coaster, and I'm the one that wrote the show because I am concerned about our 2 grandchildren. Our
so
5-year...
So am I. They are my life.
Well, the child, the oldest child, 5 years old now, 5.5. The little one doesn't know what's going on, but the 5-year-old is constantly telling us that he wishes his mom and dad would quit fighting. He's gone to the wishing well and thrown coins in and says, please help my mom and dad stop fighting.
Why do you 2 keep doing what you're doing?
Because the fix hasn't presented itself yet.
Well, let me step in here. Fix. There's been no fix. They've gone and gotten counseling, and I'm talking both of them. They've gotten counseling, and they don't do one thing that the counselor has said to do.
That's not true. He says, I quit counseling every time they tell me what I don't want to hear. Every counselor we've been to has looked him in the face and said he needs to get, yes, we need to continue to get marital counseling and work on our communication, but that he needs to get his own personal counseling to heal some of these old wounds. He is a hurt, damaged individual that is hurting in return.
Why do you two keep doing what you're doing?
When he's on his medication and even-keeled and his fuse is longer, things are better. Our communication is better. He responds to me better.
I'm emotionally numb and dead inside on that medication. I think it's either the wrong medication or it's a wrong diagnosis.
Why do you keep doing what you're doing? You've been through 3 marriages, 6 years into this train wreck. Why do you keep doing what you're doing? I'm going to ask the question until I get an answer, and I don't have to do till 5 o'clock, so. Have you ever watched the Dr. Phil show?
I have.
You have? Okay. I have. So you might as well answer the question.
Right. I'm thinking of a
I watch you every day. I'll answer.
People don't do things if they're not getting a payoff. I'm just asking you why you've chosen that particular way to be in the world.
You say that as though it's a choice. I don't feel that that is a choice. I feel that I don't have...
You chose to go out to the bar till 5 o'clock in the morning? You've chosen to take money out and spend it on other things. You've chosen to sleep in your car for a month at a time.
You've chosen to lie to me.
Those are choices.
Well, you should go to Vegas. You're a hell of a ventriloquist. Because I asked you a question, it sounds like they're talking. Yeah. You like threw your voice over here. It sounded like she answered for you. It sounded like she answered for you. I'm asking you.
Sorry.
Oh, I mean, that's part of it, is I can't get a word in edgewise ever, you know?
Because you're saying you don't have a choice. You have a choice every single day. I'm sorry.
Why are you doing what you're doing? Has nobody ever challenged you to answer that question for yourself? Why you're doing what you're doing?
I guess not.
Did you tell her you had a job when you didn't and go sleep in your car like you were going to work? And later, you're not honest with your wife.
What are you lying about?
He said, and I quote, "You cannot tell Amanda, she can never know." You're either going to come clean with her or go your own way.
You shot my son.
This is her son's blood.
You left Stefan in a ditch, riddled with bullet holes.
I did not kill Stefan.
I use heroin every couple hours. I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
My sister. How could you do this to a baby?
It gets worse.
Right now, she is really high. She's gonna be...
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game or you're out.
Plus, he went from all-American athlete
I've been living on the street
to homeless wannabe rapper.
He's into rap now?
I'm here to tell a story and inspire. That is it. I'm on the wire.
He's a rapper?
I've been doing this for 15 years. You get to thinking you've seen and heard everything until now.
Chuck is a liar. Chuck had this job and he got fired, and he continued acting like he was going to work, and then eventually he told Amanda and Tammy that he had been let go because they were downsizing the company. And Amanda called Human Resources, and she found out that he had been fired because he had disobeyed company policies.
That leads us to not believe anything that he says anymore.
He's a fraud.
Wouldn't you be fascinated to know why you do the things you do?
It would be awesome if I knew the answer to that. But sometimes the honest and best answer is, I don't know. I don't know why I do the things that I do.
How can you wake up every day and go do stuff that is so self-destructive and not be curious, why did I do that? Why is my 5-year-old son begging me to not break his toys? That 5-year-old is praying, evil daddy go away, good daddy come back. Aren't you absolutely intrigued to know why you're doing things that would make that child say those things?
I don't know why I do the things that I do.
Did you tell her you had a job when you didn't and go sleep in your car like you were going to work?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry. You're a grown man. You can't tell me you don't know that's wrong.
I do know that's wrong.
There are a few things that are fundamentally so out of balance with you two. Two things you've got to have, or there's no chance of this getting any better. I'm just going to write them down. And one of you is violating one of these badly. One is insight. If you don't have insight, you are in a lot of trouble. Insight just simply means the ability to kind of step back and look at yourself and take an objective view of what you're doing to contribute to the problem. And the other one is just real simple. And that's honesty. You lack insight, and you lack honesty. And if you don't have these two things, you got a real serious problem, and this is never going to work. You don't understand. You got baggage. You get defensive if anybody says OCD. I mean, to me, OCD has no more stigma than a kidney infection. It just is what it is.
But I've never been diagnosed with that.
I don't know if you do or you don't, but I do know that you do seem to have thoughts that you have a hard time turning loose of. And you do have behaviors that seem to be somewhat ritualistic. Now, I don't know if you actually meet all the diagnostic criteria of obsessive-compulsive disorder. I haven't diagnosed you, I don't know. But I do know that you have thoughts you have a hard time turning loose of that are intrusive to your functioning. True?
True.
And you have behaviors that are ritualistic for you that eat up time and are intrusive to your functioning, right?
I like things just so. And neat.
Would that be a yes?
Yes.
You lie when the truth would do better.
I have.
You lie by omission.
Correct.
You lie by misstatement.
Correct.
I ask you, do you have any secrets? No. We both know that's not true. You lied about having a job. You go sleep in your car.
He would tell our 5-year-old son he couldn't take him for a bike ride because he was going to work. That's low.
How old are you?
I'm 38 years old.
Well, you've had a lot of chances to do something about this.
And I haven't. But I want to, and that's why we're here. Because the person that you see, the person they see, the person she's married to, the person that my kids see, my coworkers see, the person I see in the mirror, I'm not satisfied with that person. And I haven't been for quite a long time. I'm begging you, Amanda, please stop.
You think you're the only person in the world that has buttons.
You yell stop and shut up, but it's not because it's in front of the kids. It's because you don't want to hear her voice anymore.
Can you blame them?
Amanda has very strong OCD tendencies. In my house, she has all of the bottled water labels facing the same direction, Coca-Cola cans facing the same direction. Once, to be funny, I took one of the bottles and turned it upside down with the label facing backwards. I thought she was going to have a stroke that night. It was detrimental. She was in tears. Most folks would have just laughed that off. She can't see intended humor because she has no sense of humor.
I yell and name call and degrade and all because I'm hurt. It's my defense mechanism.
It's the yelling and
when
the
you say I'm your trigger
and the beating and the cursing and the pushing and the fighting in front of the kids when I'm begging you, Amanda, please stop.
You think you're the only person in the world that has buttons.
You yell stop and shut up, but it's not because it's in front of the kids. It's because you don't want to hear her voice anymore.
Can you blame them?
On one 30-second video, you're correct. But how many
seriously?
Or how many other times have
I can't blame him.
Seriously, she badgers him endlessly.
I do badger because I don't know how to express my disappointment. He is not being the husband and father that we all need him to be.
And then now all of a sudden I'm a bad father because I'm not living up to what she's
son begs
told
him to go outside and play with him. And I have to ask him and then thank him for spending time with our son. That's not normal.
Well, you know, I wrote 2 things down here.
What do I lack insight about?
Do you think that you might be hard to please? Do you think you might have somewhat of a perfectionistic bent?
I do, and I have very high expectations.
He's dead in the water before he even starts. Now, he doesn't make much of an effort, but even if he did, he doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. That is your baggage, and you take it with you everywhere. It's like you get up in the morning and you pick your baggage up and you carry it on the front porch, you put it down. Then you get your kids to go ready to school. You pick it up and you go get in the car and you put it down. Then you go to lunch, you go, oh, forgot my baggage, I got to pick it up and take it with me. And you have lunch and you set it down and you have your lunch. Then you get up, you pick it up again and you take it with you everywhere.
I don't expect any more of him than any average wife and mother would. I honestly can sit here and say that.
But you're not his mother.
But I expect a teammate. I expect somebody to help.
I'm not his mother, but, which means forget what I just said. I'm now going to tell you what I really think.
Has he been acting like a
child? I'm not his
though?
mother, but I'm his mother, and I'm going to treat him like a child because he acts like one, and therefore we have a parent-child relationship and kind of understand why our marriage doesn't work. So we're going to take a break. Is Chuck's issue solely with his wife? Yeah, I don't think so. We'll be right back.
Chuck is a menace.
Chuck has yelled and sworn at other moms at our son's preschool when they've blocked him from leaving the drop-off line.
There are times that I can go from 0 to livid with a drop of a hat.
Chuck had a road rage incident with the woman and ended up attacking her car. Chuck had to pay $1,700 for the damages to the woman's car. Chuck needs help.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I am verbally abusive. I get a kick out of it.
You've got a guy telling you, I get a kick out of jacking with you.
She's left him 4 times.
You choose him over your children.
Yes.
But she always comes back.
Do you often think you're the smartest guy in the room?
Most attractive, not the smartest.
You didn't want to come here.
I have a very important job that I couldn't leave.
We had time to go on a 3-day bender, but you didn't have time to come here for a day.
That's tomorrow.
Chuck has been diagnosed bipolar. I believe that Chuck often uses the diagnoses as a crutch or excuse for poor behavior. He has stated that I need to learn how to be married to and be in love with somebody with such medical diagnoses. I'm not a doctor. I shouldn't have to deal with this.
Now, what I've said so far is that there are 2 fundamental things, which are that Amanda is lacking in insight and understanding what she does to antagonize this system, and Chuck is lacking in honesty because he lies about a lot of things. And I asked you earlier if you had any secrets from her that she doesn't know about, and you said no. That's not true, is it?
What else do you know that I don't know you know?
Well, if she knew it, then it wouldn't be a secret, would it? Right.
And to my knowledge, I've been found out on everything. I don't believe that I'm hiding anything.
I'm not going to out your secrets, but you've told us things since you got here that she doesn't know about. I know about them. You know about them. But you're not telling her about them. So I know that I'm sitting here with a marriage that's based on deception. You're not honest with your wife. So you have a decision to make. You're either going to come clean with her about everything in your life, or you need to decide that you want to go your own way.
What are you lying about that I don't know?
And listen, you don't have to tell her. But if you don't tell her, you need to make a decision that you're going your own way. Because I'm not going to continue this charade. We can be done, and we can be done. I asked you, you were being honest. You said yes. I asked you, had any secrets from her? You said no. You and I both know that's not true. So this is a charade from this point forward.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Go with what? Are you going to be honest and share?
Right. I'll be honest with her and move forward.
So what don't we know?
What don't we know? I think we have a right to know.
I'm wanting to know what he knows that I don't know. I mean,
apparently the 2 of you know it because he's bringing it up.
Last night that we didn't have, right? And I went out to the hotel they put us up at, had a bar, and I went in there, and then the bar shut down at 2, and I met up with a guy and his wife, and they wanted to know if we wanted to go to me. They wanted to know if I wanted to go with them. There was 3 of us in the car to an after-hours bar that shut down at about 5 this morning, and then instead of calling Uber or a cab or anything, I walked 4.5 miles starting at 5 o'clock this morning back to the hotel. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Did you reveal something to my associate producer that you said you cannot tell Amanda?
Not ringing a bell.
This is why I'm wound so tight. And maybe I lack insight because I enable, because I fix the messes.
The big secret, nobody knows this. That was honestly something I thought I was going to carry to my grave.
That's disgusting. I'm just so disgusted right now.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. We're ready to start the show, but we're waiting on you. If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and want to watch a live taping of the Dr. Phil Show, call 323-461-PHIL or visit drphil.com. Tickets are free, and I hope to see you soon. He said something to my associate producer, and he said, and I quote, "You cannot tell Amanda. She can never know."
It's spill the beans. If you've got something to say, this is the time to say it. And if you don't want to say it, then when we get home, pack your bags, get out, and move on.
That's not your decision, that's his.
So what haven't you told me?
I want so bad to be honest with you, but I'm afraid with my track record, if I am, you'll see me as not being honest with you, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Sometimes I'd rather you just not know. I've not cheated on you, ever. But I wanted to. I didn't, but I wanted to. The big secret, nobody knows this until now. All of America will know, you know. Years ago, we're talking 2003 maybe was the last time. I had done a few adult movies when I lived out here in California.
I'm sure that would have been something for me to know as I'm married to you, making a life with you,
well, maybe,
being intimate with you.
Away from that altogether, and
wow,
I came back to California last night and called the guy that I used to know to see if I could make a little extra money while I was out here right now.
You're
tonight, today, this weekend?
Yes.
Dr. Phil, he's so sick.
See, that's why I didn't want to tell you. No one knows that. That was honestly something I thought I was going to carry to my grave.
But yet you tried to hook up while you were here this weekend.
I made a phone call.
That's disgusting. I'm just so disgusted right now. This is my first marriage, and I certainly have my baggage, like you said, but I've been intimate with him, obviously. Don't you think that would have been a detail I should have known? Had a right to know? That's disgusting.
His willingness to tell you that is good.
Right, and I look at it as a very good thing and positive thing that he even got on the plane and got here and came and is willing to do this. But that doesn't erase all the, you know, everything he has done. All the deceit, all the lies, all the...
Well, he wasn't born the night he met you.
I understand that.
Look, the past is over. The future hasn't happened yet. The only time is right now. The only choices you have before you are the ones you make now.
And he did it while he was here. I understand what you're saying.
Being immature makes you a bit hedonistic, where you seek pleasure and avoid pain. and you go for immediate gratification instead of delayed gratification, and one bad decision leads to another bad decision, and then before you know it, that bad decision, oh my God, I can't admit that, so you gotta lie about that, and then before you know it, you're playing it's never the crime, it's the cover-up, and then you get one thing leads to another, and there's been nobody in there to step in and say, hey, start doing the things that are just the fundamental basics of being a man and being a father. And I honestly believe that if someone would step up in your life with a clarion voice and give you some fundamental guidance that you could trust, I believe that you would respond to that. So when we come back, I'm going to tell you what that plan is. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Look, you guys may need to get a divorce. You may need to do that. And if you do, you have plenty of time to do that. And by the way, divorce is not a solution. It's just changing one set of problems for a new set of problems. Your relationship isn't over. You just change it. You just say, yeah, I got this set of problems. I'm now going to have this set of problems. So you have plenty of time to get a divorce if that's what you want to do. What I'm going to ask you to do is give me 90 days. Give me 90 days to effect some changes in each of you individually and as a couple and as parents. For you, your medications can contribute a whole lot to the problems and the bad judgment that you've been having, and your body chemistries can contribute a whole lot to the problems that you've been having, and sometimes people don't take that seriously enough. I've got Dr. Tanya Elliott joining us right now. She's the medical director for Doctor On Demand. Doctor On Demand is our company. It's the app y'all know about that my son Jay and I have created that enables you to have a video chat with a board-certified physician at just the click of a button on your smartphone or computer. Dr. Tanya Elliott is our medical director. Dr. Elliott, the wrong medications can create all kinds of chaos, correct?
Absolutely. So, you know, Chuck, the one thing that I think is the most important is that honesty factor, and that's also with your healthcare providers. Because what happens is if you only tell part of the story, we end up with multiple different diagnoses, one medication piled on top of the other medication, and then we don't quite know what we're treating. So we really want to get to the bottom, establish the diagnosis.
To start from scratch, right?
Absolutely.
And do it in concert with these two gentlemen down here. Dr. Frank Lawless is here from the PNP Center in Dallas, and they are the absolute best at the overall diagnostics, and I think that is something that I would like to see you intervene with both of these people here. Can you do that workup on these folks?
Absolutely, and I think that we're talking about not only psychological, but some neurological patterns that you can take charge of, both of you, that can basically change your whole outlook on life.
There's something I want to ask both of you to do, and I want to talk to Miles about this. He's going to work with Dr. Lawless. But Miles Adcox is the CEO of OnSite, and they do customized programs for people, therapeutic programs that work in a comorbid basis. And this has to do with dual diagnosis, no matter what's going on. Very intensive workshops for you guys that can deal with this anxiety, deal with the trauma that you've had in your life. I think you guys can make a huge difference with them.
I agree, and I think the blame and the pain that I've been witnessing ends when empathy and hope begins.